Hello dear student, how are you all? I think everyone are fine there. So student, today we are going to begin with the lesson number 2, The Elixir of Life, written by C.V. Raman. Written by C.V. Raman. So student, in the previous video, what all those things we have discussed? In the previous video, we have discussed about the lesson number 1, A Wrong Managed Worker's Paradise, written by Rabindranath Tagore. So he was a good writer, a honorary writer, and he have received many prizes in the field of literature, music, in the field of creativity. But today we will learn about the Elixir of Life, which is written by C.V. Raman. So student, how many of you seen the previous video about antonym, synonym and articles with preposition? So how many of you? Might be some of you have seen and some of you neglecting because homework is not coming there in the WhatsApp. See student, if you complete the homework on time and if you send me in the WhatsApp, then what happens? You were going to learn the new things on time of this standard. If you don't do on a time, then what happens? You are going to face too many difficulties when the exams come near and you will have a doubts in your mind. So clarifying these things, you should be more punctual, okay, in the sense of sending the homework. Understood? So let's begin with the today topic without a further go. So student, the lesson number 2, The Elixir of Life, written by C.V. Raman. Okay, C.V. Raman. So before beginning with the lesson, let's have a short introduction on a very great scientist and a great writer who is a C.V. Raman. So everyone comes to the page of, comes here to the page number 29, you will get a note on the author. Yes, a note on the author. So what this note says about the C.V. Raman? Sir C.V. Raman, born on 1888 and died on 1970, had a keen interest in science even from his boyhood days, for his famous discovery called the Raman effect. Do you know what is the Raman effect? The famous discovery, the Raman effect. So it is a famous discovery of this scientist. Can you know a scientist becomes a writer? Yes, anyone can become a writer because the English language allow everyone to write anything which should be a better for the people. So here the C.V. Raman had written the Elixir of Life, and the work of the C.V. Raman is the Raman effect. And another work we can see, the scattering of light. You have read in your previous classes in the science subject. Scattering of light. Yes or no? Fine. So this is all about the work about the C.V. Raman. Okay. He was awarded the Nobel Prize for Physics in 1930. So he was awarded, yes, what he awarded? He awarded a Nobel Prize. So student, you will have a doubt, sir, what is a Nobel Prize? See student, if any individual or any personality do a great job, do an extraordinary work on any field, then what happens? He or she gets a Nobel Prize on that particular field. So C.V. Raman is a great physicist. He did such a great discovery in his own field, like scattering of light, like the Raman effect are the two main discoveries of him, which helped the science and technology of the whole universe. So that's why he was awarded with the Nobel Prize in which era? In 1930. In 1930, he was awarded with Nobel Prize in the field of physics. In field of physics. All right. Okay. Now here King George knighted him for his contribution to physics. The government of India awarded him the Bharat Ratna and the Soviet Union honored him with the International Lenin Prize in 1957. Okay. So here the King George, a big king, appreciated him for his work and the government of India awarded him Bharat Ratna. So GOI, government of India awarded him which award? Awarded him Bharat Ratna. So student, do you know what is Bharat Ratna? Bharat Ratna is one of the highest civilian honor in India. Bharat Ratna. A person who is too extraordinary from any caste, from any creed, from any religion, not even bothered at all, but he is a too famous and a too extraordinary person and he helped the society through his discovery. Okay, by working hard in his field, then he or she can be awarded a Bharat Ratna in a field of anything. And again, he was awarded with which prize? International Lenin Prize. Which one? International Lenin Prize. So this prize is awarded to him by Soviet Union. So student, did you heard about the Soviet Union in the history or in the political science? Yes, the Soviet Union is a province of Russia. The whole country Russia used to be called Soviet Union during the era of the World War II and during the era of the Cold War, in between the Western Alliance and Eastern Alliance. So he was awarded with the Soviet Union an International Lenin Prize for the field of the Raman effect for scattering of light in physics. Got? Okay. When he got this? In 1957. So student, this is all about a short note on a CV Raman. So on the basis of that, I am going to give a homework. So write a very brief note on a CV Raman and write each and everything about him. Okay, his biodata, his preface. Okay, each and everything should be written in a point ways. Okay, properly in your notebook. So it is a homework for you. So student, let's begin with the glossary portion here by reading our text, the Elixir of Life. So everyone come back to the second lesson's first page. Comes to page number 17 and here I am reading out. Before beginning this lesson, I would like to say something about this lesson. So student, do you know which is a very important thing in our life? Yes, the natural elements of the environment are so important in our life. What are they? Water, air, fire and the oxygen we will breathe inside, okay, to live in this universe. So without water we can survive? Yes, we can survive for some 3 days, okay, because of the strengthening power of our immune system. But after 3 days we are going to die because water is too precious for our life. Okay, then without breath or without air we can survive? No, within 5 to 10 minutes we will die. Okay, even the fire is very useful to us to form a new elements, to form a new atoms, what you have read in the science. So these all things are very important in our life. In the same manner, this whole lesson is a brief discussion on, the whole lesson is a brief discussion on a very first element of the environment is water. What it is? Water. If you go in the desert, then you will roam here and there in such a hot sunny weather, you couldn't find the water. Then what happens? You will fight for the water, you will dig the earth to find the water and drink, but you will never going to get it. During the flood, you will know about the phrases what you have learned in the childhood. Water, water everywhere, but not a single drop to drink. This is what you will know. See, so water is so important in our life. So water plays a very important okay, for the survival of the human being and all creature in this universe. So this is all about the water. So that's why it is called here the elixir of life, okay, the divine of life. The very utmost important thing of our life is water. What it is? Water. So what do you mean by the elixir? An utmost important thing of life is called water. Fine. So here we have first pre-reading activity which is given in the table. Let's read it out. It is said that if the Third World War breaks out, it will be for the sake of water. Do you agree? Discuss in pairs. Yes, I agree, because people are polluting the environment. When environment is polluted, coincidentally water will also pollute it, okay. The marine life is also getting disturbed. So what happens if water polluted, if water contaminated, people are not drinking the water, then what happens? People will fight for the good water, okay. If there is only one pond in the village, then the head of the village will say, hey, water is not available there, so I need to take this water for the drinking purpose, I will not allow anyone. Then what happens with another people? Hey, how you will not allow? We will fight for this, yes or no? So war will take place. In the same manner, we shouldn't exploit our environment, we should save our environment. So that is what we are celebrating here in this school, the paper bag or a cloth bag instead of using the plastic bags. If plastic is made up, then it is burned up also for making a new one. So when it is burned, then global warming will take place. When ozone layer is getting depleted, then more water will be evaporated from the earth. Then more water will evaporate, then what happens? The scarcity of the water will take place in the earth. So it shouldn't happen like this. So that's why we should support our environment. We should go green before green goes. Understood? All right. So this is what we can discuss in this first box. So student, let's begin with the first paragraph of the lesson here. Okay, first one. So I am reading here. Beside, what you have to do, put your fingertip or index finger just behind to each and every sentence for a better understanding. Man has through the ages sought in vain for an imaginary elixir of life, the divine Amrita, to confer immortality. But the true elixir of life lies near to our hands, for it is the commonest of all liquids, plain water. The man throughout his ages, the man from the ancestor till today, they were fighting for each and everything. I want to go to heaven, I want to go somewhere else where is true peace. They are fighting with each another, they are doing all kind of necessary things to do a great work. But they don't know the main divine Amrit which is available here on this earth is the water. They are fighting for the money, they are fighting for each and everything. Then what is the use of it if water is not available here in the earth? Because water is so precious for us. If water is there, we can earn the food, we can earn the money. This is what here the first paragraph says that. Okay, man has through the ages sought in vain for an imaginary elixir of life, the divine Amrit, to confirm immortality. So man were thinking that from the heaven someone give us Amrit, a divine Amrit which is made by the, okay, which were made by the divine leaders, the elders of the heaven, and they will give us Amrit and we will drink it and we will become immortal. Immortality means a person who never dies is called immortality. Another word for immortality is eternity. Okay, write it down here in the glossary. Immortality. Immortality means eternity. It is eternity. Or you can write a person who never dies. A person or a thing which never goes away. A person who never dies is called immortality. So people are struggling hard that we will go to the heaven, we will bring the Amrit and we will become immortal. How they can become immortal? They can become immortal through their sense, through their mind, by drinking a plain water which is available here in this earth. So this is how the C.V. Raman begins his lesson first. Okay, now comes to the second paragraph. I remember one day standing on the line which separates the Libyan desert from the valley of the Nile in Egypt. So Libyan desert is there from the valley of the Nile in Egypt. So here the C.V. Raman is standing and he is telling his own experience, what he had somewhere away in another country. Okay, what he's telling, I remember one day standing on the line which separates the Libyan desert from the valley. Okay, I was standing on the line where another side of me is the Libyan desert and another hand side of me is the Nile. Okay, the river Nile in Egypt, which is the longest river throughout the world, the river Nile. Okay, so I am standing here in between. The river Nile separates the desert and separates a good valley, a beautiful valley. Okay, a full of trees, a full of clouds, a full of good environment, and it shows that how water is useful for us. In the desert there is nothing, it is totally dry, but another side of the river Nile, which flows throughout in between the Egypt and the longest one throughout the world, is so green, is so pleasure, is so nice, is so pleasant, and it looks very good. So he is differentiating in between. See, the part which is irrigated by the water is very good, the part which is not irrigated by the water is too dry, it is useless to see, he is telling here. On one side was visible a sea of billowing sand, a sea of billowing sand. One side in the desert I can see a sea, I can see an ocean. So student, he used the word sea or a ocean for a sand. So which part of, which figure of speech it is? Which poetic device it is? Yes, it is a metaphor. He is comparing that sand to the sea, then it is called metaphor. What we have discussed about the figure of speech in the last class, memorize it and come back to the lesson. Okay. Then without a speck of green or a single living thing anywhere visible on it, while on the other side lay one of the greenest, most fertile and densely populated areas to be found anywhere on the earth, teeming with life and vegetation. So here what we will get, the another side of the desert is too dry. Okay, I can see sea or ocean of the sand, but another side of the river is full of green. Trees are there, mountains are there, plateaus are there, animals are there, peoples are there, and they have settled up properly inside their houses, and they have such a good environment, such a good ecosystem. I can differentiate it because water is there in between of the Nile river. Okay, so he is asking one question here in the second question. What made this wonderful difference? What is the reason behind this wonderful difference? The reason behind the wonderful difference is water. What it is? It is water, the water of Nile river. Why? It is the water of the river Nile flowing down to the Mediterranean from its sources a couple of thousands of miles away. So he is telling from where the Nile river is flowing out. So student, write it down here. Where the author is actually standing, he is standing on Libyan. Which desert? Libyan desert. Okay, from the valley of the Nile, from the valley of the Nile, and situated in, yes, and situated in Egypt. Where? In Egypt. Okay, so this is a place where he is actually standing. And now in the last line of the second paragraph, what he says that the Nile flowing down to the Mediterranean from its source is a couple of thousands of miles away. So this Nile river, which the Nile river is flowing from, it is flowing from Mediterranean Sea. It is flowing from Mediterranean province. Okay, Mediterranean province. Where it is? It is in Europe. It is flowing from Mediterranean and its source is a couple of thousands miles away, and it goes away in the same manner for thousands. It will flow in the same manner for thousands miles, for thousands miles. So student, 1 mile is equal to be how many kilometer? 1.6 kilometer. Understood? So this river is flowing from thousands of miles, okay, thousands of miles from the Mediterranean area, and it is passing through the desert. Okay, so this is what he have explained about the difference in between the good area and the bad area from where the river is flowing out, and what made this a wonderful difference. Water made this wonderful difference here. Understood? This is all about in the second paragraph. Now let's begin with the third one. Okay, now in the third, geologists tell us that the entire soil of the Nile Valley is the creation of the river itself. It was brought down as the finest silt in its flood waters from the highlands of Abyssinia and from remote Central Africa, and let down through the ages in the trough through which the Nile flows into the sea. Now the geologists, do you know who are the geologists? Yes, the geologists are the person who study about earth, who study about the earth, its landforms, and they will study about and crops, and crop which is grown by the peoples who are residing there in the earth. So they will study about the nature. They are called geologists. What they are telling? They were telling about the Nile River. The Nile River is a god for us because it is flowing from the Mediterranean area, and it is flowing in such a manner wherever it flows, it will bring the greenery beside to it, and it will nurture that area. It will grow that area. If it is desert, it will make it green. It will make into good fertile soil. People will do irrigation. They eat food, and they will become healthy and wealthy. This water is helping to each and every one of this universe, of this continent, and it is flowing with the silt. Do you know what is silt? A small particles where the waters carry with it, and these particles are so fertile in nature. If it will gather in such a good place, and this silt is called in a form of soil, and it will grow a good crop, a good vegetation will take place on that silt. So it is a very good thing, and this silt is carried through this water throughout that area, and it is deposited at a single place. So this is what here the geologists used to say about the river. Yes, about the river Nile, which is written here. Yes, understood? Okay. Now, yes, comes to fifth line of the third paragraph. Egypt in fact was made by its river. Its ancient civilization was created and is sustained by the life-giving waters which come down year after year with unfailing regularity. The geologists are telling the Egypt is developed by this river, by this Nile River, which flows out throughout the thousands kilometers and throughout many years back, and it made this Egypt, okay, to survive for the coming days. If the Egypt people will survive in such a better manner, they will take care about their environment, the environment will take care about them. Who are telling? The geologists are explaining about the Nile River and to the Egypt people how they can survive. Understood? Okay. This is all about here in this third paragraph. In the third paragraph, we can bring out what the geologist comments on the Nile River and on the peoples of the Egypt and on the Nile River, how it comes out, what it brings out, and what it do, okay, to the territory where it flows ever. Understood? Fine. Now let's begin with the paragraph number 4. Okay. Here in the paragraph number 4, I give this example and could give many others to emphasize that this common substance which we take for granted in our everyday life is the most potent and the most wonderful thing on the face of our earth. Now, the writer, C.V. Raman, is telling, I am taking the responsibility, I am deserving that. 100% I am sure that the life-giving substance is water. It is helping us throughout the life it is growing the crop, it is growing the vegetation, and these all things we will feed and fill our stomach, and we will grow and we will nurture and we will reproduce. Then what will happen? We will die. So this what happens with our human beings, and this river will never going to be die, and it will remain immortal. It will remain immortal because it is a water if we take care about it. So here we are asking for the Amrit which we will get from the heaven. Amrit which we will get from the heaven, okay, is an immortal for us. But the immortal thing is available here on the earth, which is water. It is gifted by the God, but we should praise her, we should praise for our life. Yes or no? That's why the Gange river which flows from Haridwar, Varanasi, Allahabad, Prayagraj is a holy place. Everyone bless her, everyone, okay, devote to her. And if someone bath and come out, they will think that I will become an immortal person because I have taken a bath in such a very, okay, neat and a clean water of the Ganges, of the Ma Ganga. So this is sorry. So this is all about the people's belief for the well-being of the, okay, well-being of their life. How they can take the care? By respecting the water which is given by the God. And next, it has played a role of vast significance in shaping the course of the earth's history and continues to play the leading role in the drama of life on the surface of our planet. So here he is telling, and he is using some scientific matter also. This water is very helpful to us because it has played a role of vast significance in shaping the course of earth's history. Okay, it is a very important one. It helps us to shape the course of world history. It will brings the history, it will brings the geography of our territory, and it will make the history of our people, and continues to play the leading role in the drama of life on the surface of our planet. And it will play a role of the drama, it will play a crucial, important role in the drama, and it will lead our life for the betterment of the future, for the betterment of the people. This is what called the elixir of life. Okay, so here he explained each and everything about the paragraph number 4th. Okay, so here in the paragraph number 4th, what we will get know about the elixir of life. What we will get know here? Yes, so student, I am Ravi. Please pause and note it down in your notebook. Okay, the paragraph number 4th, the writer C.V. Raman is telling that the elixir of life, the elixir of life, which is water, shape, it brings a shape to human, it brings a shape to human life, and people can survive, and people can survive for many years, if they respect its existence, okay, then it can be considered here a good code of conduct in between the people, in between the water which is gifted by the God. So student, this is all about here in the first page of the first lesson. Okay, now come back to the 5th paragraph. Yes, the 5th paragraph says that there is nothing which adds so much to the beauty of the countryside as water, but it just a little stream trickling over the rocks, or a little pond by the wayside where the cattle quench their thirst of an evening. Now he is telling something about the scenario what he is watching there. He is telling the water is a very beautiful part of our environment because it is trickling. Do you know what is the meaning of trickling? Yes, it is there in the third line of your fourth paragraph. See, trickling means flowing. Okay, so I written the meaning of the trickling. Then what it is? It is synonym, what we have discussed in the previous video. It is a synonym. Okay, so it flows from the earth, it flows from the plateaus, okay, in such a small streams, and it will get merged with the rivers, and in that small streams cattle will come and they will drink the water and they will get away from their thirst. I will give one little example of it. Just behind to my home in Karoshi, there is one stream. There is a stream. The farmers and the peasants will take down their cattle in the field, okay, because it is a rain time and they don't used to go to the field and take out some fodder or take out some eatable things to those cattle. What they will do, they will tie a big wood, okay, throughout their neck, and they will walk slowly with their owner, and they will move here and there, and they will graze and fed themselves, and they fill their stomach. When they will return back to the home, when I was going for a walking, in front of them they will meet me and they will make one sound, hello, how are you, and they will drink a water which is flowing from the stream, and they will get away from the thirst. See, such a beautiful scenario of the village, of the town, what you have here. In the same manner, the C.V. Raman is observing each and everything, and he is experiencing the cattle are coming and they are drinking the water which is trickling from the plateaus, and they are getting away from the thirst. So this is what he is explaining here. Okay. Now he is talking about the rain-fed tanks. Rain-fed tanks. Okay. All right. Let's discuss about this. Comes to the fourth line of the same paragraph. The rain-fed tanks that are so common in South India, alas, often so sadly neglected in their maintenance, are a cheering sight when they are full. So he is telling, do you know the rain-fed tanks? Or rain harvesting. When the rain comes, okay, the rainwater can be preserved, okay, in somewhere in the tanks, and when the tanks filled up, and after some many years, the tanks will get the scratches because it is made of the stones and bricks, and it will get the scratches, and there will be a leakage from the tanks, but the water will remain as it is because it is raining continuously. The water will get empty, again it will filled up. So the upper part of the rain fed tanks, when the sun comes out somewhere from the east, the sunshine falls on the rain fed tanks, then it looks very beautiful. It gives a very pleasure sense to our eyes. This is what he is explaining. Okay. Now they are of course shallow, but this is less evident since the water is silt laden and throws the light back, and the bottom does not therefore show up. So what he is telling, when the rays fell down on the rain fed tanks, the water reflects the light from its surface. When the light is reflected from one surface to another, when it is seen by a person by his own eyes, then he became so happy. Hey, such a wonderful moment it is. I am watching such a beautiful thing. It looks very beautiful. It gives a very pleasure and a peace to heart and the mind, and the eyes will become so happy. Even the mind will become also so happy. The eyesight will become improved if he sees this kind of good things, a good nature in front of him. So he is telling here. Okay, now the last four line. These tanks play a vital role in South Indian agriculture. So he is telling about the rain-fed tanks. Which one? The rain-fed tanks plays an vital role. Which role? A vital. Vital means important. You can write it down one synonym, important for the vital. A vital role for Indian agriculture. for Indian agriculture. How it is playing a very important role in Indian culture? See, when the tank was filled up with the water, the same water was irrigated in the field where the farmer and the peasant used to grow the crop, and the crop is grown by that water, and this whole process is called irrigation. So in this manner, the rain fed tank water is so helpful for the irrigating purpose. Okay, so last three lines of this paragraph. Water in a landscape may be compared to the eyes in a human face. It reflects the mood of the hour, being bright and gay when the sun shines, turning to dark and gloomy when the sky is overcast. So in the last three lines, the writer is comparing the water, okay, and the nature of the water with our eyes. So first one, our eyes is just like a landscape. When we feel happy, they will be glowing, okay, they will be so bright. When we will feel somehow neutral, then it will be like shy, hesitating. When we feel so sad, then it will become so sorrow. What? Our eyes. When we become so sad, we will become so sorrow, then what happens? A tear will come out from our ears. So in the same manner, water will also behave in the same thing, and it will take a good example of our eyes. And he is telling about the difference in between the eyes and the water in the last three lines of this paragraph. So student, this is all about what we have discussed, the 5 paragraphs of this lesson, and in the coming video we are going to complete the whole lesson briefly. Okay, so student, watch this video thoroughly and listen the short summary and listen the things what I had told you through this video about each and every paragraph, and note it down in your notebook and form a very important question from these paragraphs, okay, and write its answer by finding from the same book. And for the time being, watch this video thoroughly, make notes, and student, take care you and yourself, and have a nice day. Bye bye.